today I've got the most delicious recipe. A beautiful soup, packed full of veggies, super good for you. While that cooks, some epic cheese scones. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our soup. We've got some beautiful veggies. Look, I've got onions, red pepper, carrot, fennel, because it works so well with tomato. And then to give it that lovely sort of rich, thick, warming kind of texture that you want from a soup. Soup's a hug in a bowl for me. I'm going to add a little bit of sweet potato, and that just gives it that lovely viscous texture. So all we're going to do is take our onion. We're going to chop these up sort of roughly, basically. So just a bit of a random cut. Now, you need an onion in the start of a soup, in my opinion. And then we're going to have a carrot. That's going to give it a little bit of sweetness in there. So just slice it up. If you had some leftovers, carrots as well from yesterday's Sunday roast, chuck them in, okay? I've got a red pepper because I had it left in the bottom of the fridge and it's just full of vitamin C, super good for you. It's just going to sit happily in my soup, no problem at all. Now, fennel. Not everyone uses fennel, but honestly, it is so good for you and it is so delicious with tomatoes. So I'm just going to take half a bulb of fennel, cut it for half and half again, and then just give it a random chop up. Give the soup maker a little head start, okay? And then sweet potato. This is what's going to give it that just huggable feeling. Just peel it, okay? What happens is with soups, when you add like sweet potato or butternut squash or something like that, it just blends so well and it's all thick and rich and lovely. Just get rid of the end there. It breaks down pretty quick, sweet potato, as well in the cooking process. So it doesn't have to be sort of chopped up really, really fine. It will break down, you know, within about 10 minutes of cooking. So all I'm going to do is just chop it that way, and we're done. Okay? So that is our sort of base veggies. I've then got a couple of tomatoes in there. So we'll just chop those up. And basically, we've just got a big chopping board full of veggies. Okay? So, let's grab the soup maker. So this is Lakeland's soup maker. And then all we're going to do is just get everything in. So in with our tomatoes. In with our sweet potatoes. It doesn't matter what order you put it in. Just chuck it all in. In with my fennel and my red pepper. That's going to give it such a good kick of vitamin C. Carrots and onions. Let's get those in as well. Now remember, keep your eye on the line. You don't want it to be over full. Let's pop that on there. Okay, so I've got a little bit of sun-dried tomato puree. You can get it in the supermarkets all over. I just think it's got more flavour and it is less bitter than the normal sort of squeezy tubes. I've got a little bit of passata here as well that I had left over from last night. Or you could use a bit of tinned tomatoes. So that's going to give it a lovely richness. And then I've just got veggie stock. Just going to keep my eye on the... I don't want it to overfill. A little bit of water as well. There we go. And then I'm just going to give it a little season. Not a lot, because I want to taste it when it's made. Now, the smooth setting on this soup maker is 33 minutes, which I think is absolutely brilliant. It means that I can put it on, leave it alone, let it do its thing, and it means I can show you how to make the most delicious cheese scones that will go with this soup. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make some absolutely delicious scones. I learned to make cheese scones in school when I was 11 years old, and to be honest, my recipe hasn't changed too much. The actual core methodology is the same. The only thing that's different is just changing out ingredients and just raising flavor profiles. But we're going to start with 500 grams of self-raising flour. Okay? We're then going to take some butter. You could use margarine if you wanted to. I like to use butter for the scones. And I'm going 125 grams, okay? So it's like a 4-to-1 ratio. 4 parts flour to 1 part butter. And that's salted butter I'm going to use because that's like my first layer of seasoning. Get your fingertips in and just break the butter into little pieces. Because what we want to do is incorporate this into the flour. And using our fingertips, we don't want it to get really warm, okay? So pick it up, rub it and drop it, okay? And just keep doing that. If you're in a rush, you could chuck it in the food processor and pulse it if you want. Just don't overwork it. And just pulse it until you get a nice sort of crumble. You know, like if you're pouring it on for an apple crumble, that kind of texture. And just use your fingertips and work it in. It's the same if you're making sweet scones as well. It's the same ratio. The only thing you do add is sugar to sweeten it up. We're obviously not going to add sugar. We're going to add some savoury ingredients that I'm going to show you in a minute, just to give it that lovely savoury flavour. These scones I'm going to serve up with a beautiful soup instead of a bread roll, which is quite common for us up here in the north of England. Soup and a cheese scone. Nice. Good lunch. Okay, so can you see the way it's changed? And now we've got that crumbly texture. And this also, the way that I'm doing this, I'm really lifting it up, means I'm getting extra air in, so we'll get more lift. So don't be afraid to really lift it up and drop it and cascade it down, because that's going to be all aerated. And then once it hits the oven, because that's preheated at 200 degrees, I want a big lift on this. I'm giving it every chance it's got to really rise and grow in the oven. Okay? Nice. Right. Added a little extra. I've got some baking powder. That's going to give it another little lift. So we'll work that in. And now we're going to start seasoning this up. Onion granules, okay? So this is like little dried, let me show you these. They're like little dried onion flakes, little bits, and they're so incredibly savoury. It just gives that wonderful savoury hit. Okay, let me show you. Okay, it just gives you that incredible savoury flavour. Now this bit's optional. I like a bit of mustard in my cheese scone. I've got Dijon today. Now, if you were using English mustard, it's very strong. We all know that. So be sparing. I'm going full teaspoon of Dijon. If I was using English, I'd probably use 1/4 of a teaspoon because it is like rocket fuel. Okay, now, cheese. I'm going to go 2 types here. Okay, I've got my cheddar. So let's just get my grater. My good friends at Lakeland have changed my grating game, okay? So I've got this wonderful grater, and then all I do is just lock it on the worktop, and I can just grate it straight into the bowl. No problem at all. Look at this. Honestly, it's great. You know, it changes your grating game. Look, there you go. I'm terrible for cheese as well. I put far too much in things. All right, there we go. So that is mature cheddar, all right? I like to eat vintage cheddar, like really mature, and I like to cook with just a mature cheddar. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of Parmesan in there, just for a little, not too much, like a couple of tablespoons, just to get a nice balance. You could add smoked cheese in if you wanted to. You know, there's all kinds of different flavoured cheeses as well. So again, keep the air in there. Just distribute the cheese. Okay? We've got a little bit of mustard in there as well. And then let's make a well in the middle. Okay, we're going to add our wet ingredients now. So we've got a room temperature, very important, egg. When eggs are at room temperature, there's more elasticity in them. Because you imagine if they're cold, they're tight and they don't really do their job as much. Whereas if they're at room temp, they're just going to help lift your scones really nicely. We're going to add a splash of milk. Okay, so that was like 50 mils to begin with. And then I'm just going to take a fork. and I'm just going to mix it together. So we're mixing the egg and the milk together to begin with. And now I start to bring the dry ingredients in. And what you don't want to do is overwork this, okay? We don't want them to be tough. We're not making bread. We don't need to knead it. We just need to bring the whole thing together. So it's a bit like making pastry. Just mix it together. Just bring it together like a dough. Don't beat the life out of it. Don't knead it. You don't need gluten in this. We just bring it together. We want soft, little pillow-like scones. Now that is enough milk. When I add my milk, it's very much about looking, seeing, feeling. Okay, if I turn this out, you can kind of see that it's only just come together. Touch of flour on there, and then we're just going to bring it together really gently. Okay? And then just push, turn, push it over on itself. There we go. And that's it. That's as much kneading as we're doing. And now what we're going to do is compress the dough. A little bit of flour, and then push down and in. We don't need a rolling pin for this job. We just need our hands. So we compress, we push down and in. So we're basically get any of those little gaps of dough that aren't quite formed, we're pushing them together. We're not stirring it. If you stir, you develop gluten. If you compact, you just press it all together. So we have those little buttery pockets that are going to help with the rise. So I want these to be, these are decent ones. I'm going to serve these instead of bread. So they want to be a decent depth. So these are what? 4 centimeters deep, something like that. So I can move it. Look, I can move that around. It's not sticking. I'm not covered in flour. I've just got a nice, manageable dough that I can work with. Okay, I'm going to dip my cutter in flour. And when we cut it, we press straight down. We don't twist. So put it on, press. Once it's down, give it a little twist, and then it's out. What I'm going to use is this Lakeland perforated tin. And that means we're going to get a beautiful bake underneath. They're not going to stick. They're just going to rise up. The first cut of scones are always the best. So make sure you get as many as you can out of it. So there's 4. So I'm going to get 6 decent ones. Or you could get sort of 12 smaller ones if you want smaller scones. And that's fine. But you've got to work quite quickly. Because the minute you add liquid and things like that to this mixture, the raising agents start to react. So we want to get in the oven pretty quick. Right, so that's 6. And this is the tester. All right? So we'll just scrunch all the cuttings up and see if we get one that we can test. Look at that. There you go. Look, that is the baker's cut, that one. That's the tester. Right, let's bring that onto there. And then we're going to brush these with a little bit of beaten egg. So I've got some beaten egg. I'm not a big fan of putting cheese on top of cheese scones to bake because I think it burns and it goes slightly bitter. Put as much cheese as you want in the scone. Make the scone cheesy. Don't put more on top because I think it will burn. Especially when we're baking at like 200 degrees. So we've got a nice hot oven. So it would be like 180, 190 fan. So it's hot. And it will scorch, and like cheese goes quite bitter if it overcooks and burns. So we'll try and prevent that. I've put all the cheese I want in the middle. Okay? So they're going into the oven for about 20 minutes. I can smell the cheese scones. They smell baked. Let's go and have a quick look. Oh, yes. These look like proper cheese scones. Look at these beauties. Look at the size of them. And because we've used this perforated baking tray, look, they just lift off, non-stick. They've got nice crispy bottoms. And look, even the rolled up one, you know, the chef's one, all the little trimmings, is still good if you ask me. There we go. So that's our cheese scones. Soup, all at the same time. This cooked easily, super low maintenance while the scone's baked. All we need to do is have a little taste, check for seasoning, because you want it to taste right for you. Ooh, nice. Really nice. I'm going to put a touch of black pepper in there for me. There we go. And just like half a teaspoon of salt. There we go. And then just give it a quick pulse and it's done. Right. Seasoned, blended, ready to go. No saucepans. Look at that. Lovely. What I like to do as well is I like a little bit of extra virgin olive oil drizzled in at the end because it kind of creates this nice silkiness when you eat it. It's a really nice touch. A good extra virgin olive oil, it's a good way. And then look at these. Look at those beauties. I'm going to crack this open, Carlos. You want to get the steam off this. Look, you don't need to cut a scone. You crack them open like that. Look at that. Oh, nice. I'm quite excited, as you can tell. Little bit of room temperature butter this time. On it goes. In Yorkshire, we slice butter. We don't spread it. That is a beautiful cheese scone. I'm dunking. I'm going in. If you want any of these recipes, check the descriptions below. It'll take you to my website, petersidwell.com. You can get it all there. I'll see you on the next episode.